There's been this ongoing battle in the gun industry of who can make the best quality hunting rifle for like really cheap in that bargain basement price point. And it's possible that there's a new king, and it might be the Franchi Momentum. I wanted to hate this gun. I expected to hate this gun, but everything I threw at it, it's looking pretty dang impressive. So we're going to talk about all the different pros and cons in this one, but let's start with the thing that impressed me probably the most, and it's right here, the trigger. The trigger breaks at a clean 2 pounds and 10 ounces from the factory. It is adjustable from 2 to 4 pounds, but from the factory unmodified, that trigger is just excellent. It feels like a premium upgraded trigger. There's zero creep in it at all. I think I can say with some degree of confidence that it is the best trigger I have felt on a gun anywhere in this price point. Today's video is brought to you by Fishing Clash. Fishing Clash is a fun mobile app you can get on your phone to get your fishing fix on the go. I have a hunt coming up in Mexico in just a couple weeks, and while I'm on the plane, I can be reeling in some fish. My kids and I downloaded the app and spent a long time playing it last night. As we do, we're transported to different beaches around the world. We learned a bunch of different types of fish and experienced the thrill of the catch. You press the button at the bottom of the screen to cast. That takes you to the beautiful beach, and then you can cast for big fish that you may never even get to see in real life. It doesn't take up much space on your phone, and it is free to download. Get it today by 1, using the link in the description, or 2, the QR code that you see on the screen. Be sure to use my special gift code FISHWITHJIM to get a $20 value reward. With my gift code, you'll get a unique avatar, 1 mythical lure card, 50 luck power-ups, and 30 weight power-ups to help you catch bigger fish. Check out Fishing Clash. The price is also a big win. You can get this version for 550 bones. Now they do have several upgraded versions. When I bought this thing, this is what the badging from the store had on it. It says Franchi Momentum Elite. I think someone in the gun store pulled a little fraud on me because this is not the Momentum Elite version. This is just the Franchi Momentum. Now it's the exact same barreled action, but if you want to pay $250 or $300 more for the upgraded versions, you can get, Cerakote, a camo job on the stock. And then there's the Franchi Momentum Elite varmint version that uses a very different stock line, which is I really like, but it's quite a lot more expensive. Next, we look at the action. Now, I would love to see some of these less expensive firearms using a Remington 700 action so that you can build around it, but this is not. This is their own action. It's a 3-lug bolt with a very short throw, and it's extremely reliable, works very well. It's hard chrome plated, but I would say that it wants you to ram that thing. It never sticks or anything like that, but it's not that smooth Tika-esque kind of motion. It's like there's a lot of little stutters in there, but it works every single time. So I would give it a bonus because I don't care how smooth it feels if it doesn't do its job every time. This one does its job every time. It's just not the most smooth feeling thing. Maybe a little bit of oil is going to help loosen that thing up. Okay, so accuracy. That's why I've waited so long to put this review on the web. I've told you guys for a while that I've been working on this review and people have been asking about it. The reason I've been waiting is this rifle's chambered in .350 Legend. And, I don't have it with me. The only ammo I could find for it was Winchester ammo. I've never had good luck with Winchester ammo, and only 1 load to test a rifle is never a great recipe. So I went out and shot it today, and yeah, I was getting 1.5 to 2 inch groups. But frankly, that's what I expected from that ammunition. You kind of see group 1, group 2, and group 3 was off the page here. That's what I expected to see. What I will say is I looked at several other reviewers that I know or really trust, and none of them had any accuracy issues whatever. I think it was Guns and Ammo did a very good in-depth review, and they had multiple loads shooting half MOA on average. I think the accuracy of this gun is great. I didn't expect to do any better than that with the Winchester ammo that I had. That's why I was waiting. I wanted to find some Hornady ammo in 350 Legend. I just couldn't come by it. That's the only hesitation I have, is I want to see it for myself. I might have to take away a point for the stock design. There are just so many nonsensical things on this stock. So for example, if you look at the line of the bore, perfectly horizontal to it, right? The comb of this stock, this line right here, if it goes up, then when the gun recoils, what does it do? It recoils into your face. That's not what you want. But you never want it to go up. I mean, it's a very old, antiquated stock line. But you can see here there is just this slight positive comb to this stock. I just don't know why they would do that. There's checkering everywhere. There are 5 different checkering locations on the stock, and the checkering actually feels really nice, but I don't know that I totally understand it. You wouldn't really want checkering down here. You want this to be smooth so that if it's riding on a tree limb, sandbags, whatever, during recoil, it's not moving the gun. You want that to come smooth. If you watch like an F-class shooter or a bench rest shooter, they want that recoil. They're really working on setting up their gun so that gun recoils straight back. So overall, the stock is really rigid. It's this little groove right here in the forend just gives it a lot of strength up front. It feels good. It doesn't feel quite as cheap as most of the firearms in this price point do. You guys know I am waging a war against Sling Studs. I just think they're better designs, like a QD flush cup now. But they've chosen to go a different direction with plastic Sling Studs. When I first saw this and the Benelli Lupo from the same company, I just thought, oh man, how cheap can you get? Like a Sling Stud is, what, a 25-cent part? Why couldn't we have a metal Sling Stud? But actually, I'm willing to adjust my thought on that because it actually works quite well. It, one, gets the Sling Stud out of the way for riding on a bag. Doesn't catch on stuff. It's pretty strong. I thought, but if that breaks, now your gun is like busted, right? I did attach a bipod because I wondered if it would work in there with a normal Harris style bipod. Works just fine, no problems. I'm willing to kind of change my thought on that. It's actually a pretty good system. It works well, even though it looks a little bit cheap. And the marketing on this one just made me laugh. Like, what are the 3 most hated letters in the USA? Probably IRS, right? That's probably the worst acronym. But second has to be TSA. So what did they name their recoil pad? The TSA recoil pad. I looked fairly diligently and I cannot find what TSA stands for. Techno Stabilizer Acceleration. I have no idea what it stands for. That's the worst acronym they could have picked. The recoil pad is decent. They make a lot of it in their marketing, reduces 50% of the recoil. It's better than a lot of the ones I have felt. It's soft enough to actually be valuable. But I mean, in the end, this is a chunk of foam in there, encased in some rubber. I don't think that it doesn't feel like a premium recoil pad, but it did work fine. So feeding, I talked about the action movement. But the feeding was absolutely 100%. It's something that I test over and over and over. I want to go from the mag. I want to chuck a single shot in there, test everything I can. Because if a gun won't feed 100% of the time, I don't want it to go into the hunting woods with me. Of course, it's going to fail at the time when you most need it. And this thing does feed 100% of the time, which is very notable in this price point. It's rare that I can say that. Another big bonus is it comes with a threaded muzzle. Hooray! So you can add a brake on there or a can. It's a pretty thin contoured barrel for hanging a lot of weight out there, but it's threaded. That's a big bonus, especially at this price point. A drawback is the chambering options are very limited. I'm getting so frustrated with this. Every new gun that comes out, it's 308, 6.5 Creedmoor. Sometimes they're going to toss in a 300 Win Mag, and that's kind of what we got here. It is frustrating. I definitely want to see more chambering options available. Chambering options are very limited. I do want to mention though this scope. This is a Blackhound 3 to 18 by 50 scope, and I was really impressed. The top turret up here is like super beefy. It's like really wide. It just feels kind of tough. The glass was excellent in it, but you couldn't help but notice this was nice glass when I first looked through it. I also like that it includes a throw lever. Man, I've had several new scopes lately that were just so stiff that you couldn't even move the dang thing without totally getting out of the scope. I like that it has that built-in throw lever on it. The reticle design is awesome. So you can hold up at distance, right? You want to hold over your target. You can hold to the side in the wind, but it'd be so rare that you would want to hold down below the crosshair, right? And so I do like that it's only a little partial line going up above the midline on the reticle design here, because why block that view? There's just kind of no purpose to the top. Anyway, pretty happy with that one. Blackhound 3 to 18 by 50. So what's Jim's verdict on the Franchi Momentum? It's quite possible that it's the best rifle under $600. I still have some investigating to do. I still want to see for myself some of the accuracy results once I can get good ammunition, but it's certainly up there. I'm amazed by the number of features they have put into this rifle, and the build quality is excellent. It just doesn't feel junky cheap, except for those Sling Studs, which I've kind of learned to love. So that's the Franchi Momentum. Thanks for checking out this review, and we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to check out Fishing Clash.